Chapter opens with a live broadcast capturing the intense Sukuna versus Gojo fight. In a room filled with sorcerers, their attention is riveted to numerous screens displaying the unfolding battle. Despite Gojo's seemingly untouchable limitless technique, Sukuna employs domain amplification to neutralize Gojo's formidable technique, introducing a new layer of complexity and intrigue to the ongoing confrontation. Choso quietly mutters about domain amplification, his uncertainty evident. Yuta steps in to clarify the situation, referencing a similar occurrence in Mekamaru's footage. Mojito had previously used domain amplification during the Shibuya incident to counter the limitless technique. Hikari, appearing uncertain, voices the question in everyone's mind: why is Gojo's limitless technique being nullified? Dukabe elucidates that domain amplification is essentially a revamped version of a basic domain, specifically designed to nullify a person's cursed technique. In response to Hikari's inquiry about Tsukabe's ability to use it, Tsukabe responds in the negative. Higuruma seems to have a solid understanding of the situation, adding another layer of understanding to the complexity of the ongoing battle. Angel contributes additional clarity by outlining the drawbacks of domain amplification. When someone employs this technique, they are unable to simultaneously use their innate curse technique. This restriction applies universally, even to Sukuna, despite his status as the most powerful sorcerer. There is no exception for him. Before moving on, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Panda, showing his analytical prowess, raises a series of questions. He suggests that if Sukuna is engaging in the fight without utilizing his cursed technique, there must be alternative methods he possesses to counter Gojo's limitless technique aside from domain amplification. This line of thinking implies a potential risk of Gojo losing. Miwa then follows up with her own set of questions, deepening the sense of concern and intrigue among the gathered sorcerers. Miwa poses a crucial question, inquiring why Sukuna isn't resorting to domain expansion. She emphasizes that a person's technique becomes immediately unstable after such an expansion. Kirara adds her commentary, suggesting that the outcome of the battle might hinge on the domain battle. She raises the question of whether this development is a positive or negative aspect of the situation. Itadori joins the conversation, bringing up the question of whether the domain sure-hit technique nullifies Gojo's technique. He recalls a discussion they had in a cursed spirit's domain. Uyui wonders if Sukuna might struggle to win in the domain battle. Shoko disputes Uyui's comments, stating that if that were the case, Gojo would have already utilized his domain with his Six Eyes ability. Following Inumaki's and Yuji's comments, Choso raises doubts about the likelihood of the domains never clashing. Tsukabe, Kashimo, Hikari, Yuta, and Miwa appear alarmed by Choso's remarks. Tsukabe requests Miwa to toss him the water situated beside her. Miwa picks up the water bottle and hurls it toward Tsukabe. In a playful tone, Tsukabe teases her, noting that he had asked for the water only, not with the bottle. In response, Miwa decides to take things into her own hands and throws the water directly at Tsukabe's face. Seemingly a bit enraged, Tsukabe, however, is enlightened as Mime from behind explains the situation. Expanding a domain without closing a barrier is likened to the action of throwing water without a bottle. In a similar vein, Maki elaborates, drawing parallels. Just as water cannot accumulate without a container, and painting requires a canvas, a flower cannot bloom without a stem, roots, or leaves. Maki emphasizes that the situation is akin to using software without any hardware. Regardless, the task appears to be impossible. However, Megumi's incomplete domain lacked an enclosing barrier. Tsukabe goes on to share his own experience, stating that typically, people still need buildings or barriers for such a task, but Kenjaku managed to achieve it. The sorcerers had devised a plan for Tsukumo to counter the domain amplification with a simple domain, while Tengen would dismantle it from the outside. However, the simple domain was torn apart in just a second. Mime exclaims, "Moreover, it wouldn't have been a true domain battle in either circumstance." But if Tengen had expanded her own domain, there might have been a battle for Yuji's sure-hit effect. Miwa, still in contemplation, asks if it literally goes against the sure hit effect. The complexity of the situation is further revealed as the sorcerer's planned strategy encounters unexpected challenges. Inumaki points out that since domain amplification consumes a substantial amount of cursed energy, sorcerers should ideally avoid using it. Ino shares his own thoughts, noting that Sukuna, being a highly experienced sorcerer, has mastered his cursed energy consumption. Reflecting on Sukuna's extraordinary feats, Kashimo describes him as an unreal character. Yuta mentions that Sukuna's cursed energy is probably double that of his own. Mom wonders what would happen if, despite all circumstances, Sukuna's and Gojo's domains were to clash. In a shocking turn of events, Tsukabe redirects the sorcerer's attention towards the screens. The fight is about to resume. On the battle site, Sukuna and Gojo follow through with what the sorcerers were contemplating. They unleash their respective domains. Both of them appear surprisingly calm. Sukuna's shrine begins to materialize, while Gojo remains motionless, employing hand signs. It's a battle where both sides are evenly matched. If either were to lose focus for even a second, they could instantly lose in that moment. The sorcerers in front of the screens appear surprised and moved by this development. Inside the barrier, Sukuna and Gojo are evenly matched. However, the effective range of Sukuna's domain extends far beyond that of Gojo's. Itadori appears alarmed, realizing that since domains are weak against attacks from the outside, Gojo is at a disadvantage due to the greater range of Sukuna's domain. Sukuna has fully activated his domain, his malevolent shrine spreading terror and havoc across the land. Standing atop his shrine, he casts a smirk down at Gojo below. In an instant, he employs hand signs to unleash slices at Gojo. They are so sharp and powerful that even the barrier of the world's strongest man shatters.